Hello, everybody. It's Luke here from the Movie Express podcast with another of the greatest movie fights ever movie fought. This time we'll be looking at a fight between Lam Ching Ying and Eddy Ko from the 1986 John Woo film Heroes Shed No Tears. So as the sequence begins, we open on a disorientated Eddy Ko, who's playing Chang. He is being shot at, his son is calling for him. He manages to bum rush the colonel here who's shooting at him and disarm him. And now both men engage in a slugfest. You'll see them here scrapping and rolling on the floor, using anything and everything around them to gain the upper hand. Here's another man who's dying. He was important earlier on in the story, he's not important anymore. Coming up is one of the great bits of this fight that make it all worthwhile. That amazing flying kick, which really shows a disregard for your opponent, but also a disregard for your own safety. And so I really enjoy that approach to this fight, where both men are so desperate to get the upper hand that they'll resort to anything, even using this flaming stick here. That great John Woo double take as it breaks the bone of the colonel there. He doesn't seem to be overly concerned by that. He might be concerned by this half atomic drop that Eddy Ko does here, and one would be led to believe that Yu Sang-chin, who choreographed this fight, was a fan of wrestling, because a lot of this fight plays out like a great wrestling match. You've got the ebb and flow, where one character will seem to have the upper hand over the other, only to be brought down by some great finishing move. That's a funny bit of barrel running there. I don't know if it was intentional that he'd fall off the barrel, but it looks great anyway, and John Woo fixes it up nicely with that bit of slow motion there in the middle. Kenny's concerned, obviously, for his father's well-being, and you'd be too if you saw a man getting beaten up like this. So it really seems like the colonel has the upper hand at this stage in the fight. Luckily for Eddy Ko, he's able to use some of that great wrestling magic again, dropping the colonel onto the back of this barrel. A really great sequence here. When he jumps over the barrel for some reason, it looked as if he was going to push it, but he doesn't end up doing that in the end. So he's on the back foot here. The colonel has a weapon. Luckily he's able to disarm him again. And coming up now is one of these great sequences in kung fu or martial arts films that you might see, where the hero is able to expose a weakness in the colonel. And we'll see it now. It's actually quite disgusting, so be prepared. Here we go, with an eye punch, a bit of blood spray, very grisly. And now Eddy Ko is able to lift up the colonel, drop him into this exposed bit of sheet metal. And that's the end of him. Kenny doesn't seem overly concerned, despite the disgusting display of violence he's just witnessed. But I suppose he's just looking forward to a family picnic and reuniting with his father. They've been through a lot. Kenny. That was Eddy Ko and Lam Ching Ying in Heroes Shed No Tears.